Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast for Thursday, December 16th. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us. I wanted to flip around what we were talking about yesterday. And actually, this is going to be the last podcast for this week. I am going to take tomorrow off. Stephanie's here on Saturday talking about the element of air in medical astrology. Those of you with Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, strong in your chart, you want to see how that applies to your health? Saturday, tune in for Stephanie. But to wrap this up for this week, because the focus really right now is kind of on the nodes. I mean, where are we right now? Not a lot through the weekend. I mean, we got a pretty easy weekend. Today, the moon moves into Gemini. That happens at 3:42 p.m. this afternoon. And this is a long one. This is one of the 2.5-dayers or almost 3 days because it stays in Gemini all the way until early Sunday morning, 4:41 a.m. when it moves into Cancer. And, of course, the other big thing on Sunday is the 5:35 in the morning Venus stationing to go retrograde. So everything Venus gets really slow as it slows down, amplifying all those Venusian characteristics over the next week or so. Real quick line in astrology, stations amplify. Whenever a planet slows down to change either from retrograde to direct, or in this case, from direct to retrograde, the characteristics of that planet amplify. If you're in the 101 course, be a great time to go back to the section on Venus and Libra and just brush up on those. We've been talking up toward this, but Sunday is the crescendo day. This is a perfect transition, too, because we were talking yesterday about the nodes of the moon, and I didn't want to leave that in the space of that we're moving into riots and this kind of thing. Is it possible? Well, it's kind of happening in various places around the world right now, and the parallel back to 1967 certainly is one worth considering. It's worth examining. But do we stop there? No, that's why we pick up today, because let's look at the other side of the chart. The north node of the moon moves into exactly what we were just talking about, Venusian territory. So the consciousness of the 1960s took the Scorpio, Mars, war, fight, aggression approach. But let's ask a very important question. Could it be possible that our consciousness has evolved to where we collectively, you, me, everybody else, could move over to the Taurus side and find peace and balance and harmony and grounding, and particularly that ultimate Venusian characteristic of love? It's a good question. Have we arrived at a point collectively where we could say that we are in that space? In other words, making love, not war. Could we read in the 50 years down the road of the great 2022 love fests? Not in a negative context. I mean, truly people coming together in love. This is such a perfect example of the nodal path, moving from the south node toward the north node. So the picture here over the next year and a half, will we be willing to go in and look at the dark shadows of our life and then move that whole picture toward love, harmony, balance, and peace? And remember, I say this often, that the north node is the hardest thing for us to achieve consistently in astrology. It is the most foreign to us, and it's the one that we resist, and we always go back to our safe ground of the south node home base, because individually, that's where we've brought this karma forward. But when we move to the north node, we're moving into that unfamiliar, like, oh, that's not what we do. But I'm just wondering if perhaps this time, when we experience this nodal axis, could we somehow find that love is better than war? This same nodal axis will not appear until the early part of 2042, which ironically will be toward the tail end of Pluto's transit through Aquarius, which will be shaking up quite a bit of the things related to this very conversation, won't it? So could it be that we would even miss the 2042 and have to carry it another 18 years forward to 2060? And see, here's the crazy thing. It's a decision. the decision to, understand your North Node. So collectively, we humans need to understand that it is all about love right now. That is the message of the next 18 months. Make love, not war. Yeah, so here's the dilemma of the collective. Can they understand that? And are they willing to do it? And that's the same dilemma that you and I always face when we enter that very uncomfortable territory of moving from our South Node to our North Node. Do I understand the path? Number one. Am I willing to take the step? Number two. But I will tell you, it is so critically important that we all now understand this, and that's on a collective mass consciousness basis. So spread the word. I mean, that is the message of the next year and a half. All right, you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to take tomorrow off, like I mentioned. Stephanie here on Saturday, back with you again on Monday. Have a good one. Bye-bye.